Thinking Aloud. Conversations on the leading edge of knowledge and discovery with psychologist Jeffrey Mishlove.
If we can find a way to place voices on electronic tape or on a television screen or on a telephone, and it's recorded there for anyone to listen to, for anyone to view, if it's there, then that would be a step in the right direction. And I think that we here in our world recognize that that would be a tremendous advantage. And interestingly, it appears that the spirits on the other side also feel that that would be an advantage to get their message across, namely that their world is real, and that's the world that we're going to go to when we die.
Well, that's a profound message, and of course, naturally, there's going to be a lot of skepticism and resistance to a message of that sort, and yet now we have this new field of ITC, as it's sometimes called. Instrumental Transcommunication, or EVP for electronic voice phenomena, where people often use radios.
That's exactly right. That's the standard way to conduct EVP, electronic voice phenomena. And it was discovered back around 1960. A very important book was written by Konstantin Raudiva, I believe is the way you pronounce his name, called Breakthrough. And he, along with other Europeans, had developed this science to a certain extent and had begun to figure out a way, they had succeeded in figuring out a way to bring these spirits to them and to record their voices on tape. And eventually to make it possible for them to speak right outside, right out into the open through a radio. The way you do this, and this is so strange. You know, you first read about it and you think, oh, this can't be. That was my reaction 30 years ago when I read this. Now I've looked into it, and it's very real, and it's important. You set your dial between a couple of stations on the radio. You set it to a station where no one is broadcasting.
So that you're getting white noise.
You're getting white noise or this kind of hiss sound.
Static
hiss is sometimes it's called. And you invite anyone from the other side who is interested to break through that noise and leave a message. Okay? And there have been any number of successes, and we'll be listening to one in just a moment.
We should point out that this has become a hobby or an avocation now for thousands of amateurs.
All around the world. Tens of thousands of people around the world.
Tens of thousands of people. There's even a journal.
There is. But there are also some real pros. And we'll be looking at probably, I think we can say without exception that she is the most prominent living researcher in this field. That's Annabella Cardoso. She's a Portuguese diplomat, a person of high integrity and considerable esteem, who does this as kind of a hobby. Actually, it's now that she's retired, it's become mainly her life. And she records these voices. She's become extremely good at getting voices to speak to her.
As I recall, she's one of the founders of the Journal of Instrumental Transcommunication.
Yes, indeed. So we'll be hearing more about her in just a moment. But that's the background. Now, there are other ways for spirits to come to us. One of them is through telephone. And there was a book published not too long ago, I forget by whom, you may remember, called Telephone Calls from the Dead.
Well, my cousin, Scott Rogo, wrote a book called Phone Calls from the Dead back in the 1970s.
Right, and I think we've had another one with a title similar to that.
That's right.
Was it by Cal Cooper? I forget. I'm not sure. Who have brought together cases of people picking up their phone after it's rung and hearing a message from a deceased loved one.